I'm judging everyone else when I'm the one who's really doing it, which is most of the time what we as humans do. And we don't turn that eye on ourselves. So that my higher self is coming down and saying, hey, I'm the transparent soul that's gonna show you, you shouldn't be living like this. Let's be more compassionate. Let's do something different. This book called The Journey Home by Radhanath Swami is basically about his journey to becoming a Swami and his spiritual awakening. The quote basically says that when you come in contact with a saintly person, they basically act like a spotless mirror. And when you look at them and interact with them, they reflect back to you like your inner joys and your inner sorrows and your true self, honestly. And when I heard that, I was like, yo, such a visual idea came to my mind. I was like, I just want to show that visually. I think that the song kind of encapsulates this angsty feeling and this anger of like, you know, you feel like you're getting taken advantage of. You want people to know that you can see through their intentions, that they can't take advantage of you. But then in the video at the same time, it's almost like I need to be turning my gaze to myself and need to be thinking about like, damn, like, how could I be a better person? How could I like not do the things that I'm saying that this other person is doing to me? So it's really kind of a reflection. And I think every human goes through it. I mean, if you judge yourself, you judge others. And if you judge others, you judge yourself. I don't fucking know if it's a lie or it's a fact. All your little fake friends will sell your secrets for some cash. I definitely wanted to have that like classic pop punk bite that's almost like a rap. I knew that I wanted to have that vibe, and I knew that it needed to be like aggressive and just like angsty and just like, I don't fucking know if it's a lie or it's a fact. You know what I mean? Like I knew it needed to be like that. I wanted to come across as like, yo, like, I don't know if you're trying to fuck me over. I'm just gonna put it on the table. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I feel like is happening. So let's get to it. Let's get right to the point. I can't tell you how many times I've had fear that like, if I open up about this to this person, or if I say this or whatever, like they're gonna like tell TMZ or be like, Willow Smith says this and did this. And I'm just like, yo, like, no, and that shit happens. Like you think that you're close to someone, you let them into your life, you let them into your home, you let them into your heart, and they just like take advantage of you. Smile in my face and put your cig out on my back if you ever see me just get to running like the Flash. I was in the studio session with Tyler, and I was like, should I be like, put your J out on my back? Cause like, we don't really smoke cigs, but like, he was like, nah, it just flows better. Like, it just flows better. And I was like, damn, okay, like, I guess we'll say cigs. I wanted to like put a spin on that, like smile in my face and stab me in the back. Like to put a spin on that and to put it in this world of like, like I'm actually just gonna burn you with the end of my cigarette and think that you don't even notice. I knew a boy just like you. He's a snake just like you. Such a fake just like you, but I can see the truth. I'm just telling this dude in front of me like, yo, like I've seen so many people like you. Like, you know how many kind of people come up to me saying the shit that you're saying? Like, come on, like, I'm not dumb. Like, I think I know what's going on here. As I get deeper into my spiritual practice, it definitely gets better. The way I can see through things. Transparent soul, I can see right through, just so you know. Transparent soul, I can see right through, just so you know. A transparent soul is someone who is on the path to, or who has already had some sort of ego death. The only way that you can be a transparent soul is if you clean that shit. You have to clean your soul, clean your ego, clean those traumas. Obviously, I'm not the transparent soul. I aspire to be a transparent soul, and I'm definitely on the path of healing my traumas and getting rid of the egotistic mental patterns that cause me pain and the people close to me pain. If anyone's a transparent soul, it's gonna be a monk somewhere. I don't fucking know it's paradise or it's a trap. Yeah, they're treating me like royalty, but is it kissing ass? Paradise looks like a place where the only thing that people are worried about is helping one another out and loving one another and making one another feel good. When you're in a situation with a lot of yes people who are constantly saying, oh my God, you're so great, and like feeding your ego, sometimes it can feel like, wow, like I'm really here. Like I really made it. You know what I mean? Like that happens to a lot of artists. That happens to a lot of entertainers. They just get trapped in this echo chamber of, oh my God, you're so great. You're amazing. You killed that. Like, you're just in, and they just lose sight of like the fact that it's not real. It's not paradise. It's an actual trap. No one's brave enough to take the fall, right? But it's all your fault. Why you acting like it's all right? Like no one wants to admit that they tried to manipulate you. No one wants to admit that they were in the wrong. Also for me, it's like, yo, like you allowed this person into your life. Like don't try to act like you didn't do that either. Like don't try to act like you didn't have a role in that either. So that's kind of like a double-edged sword. I knew a girl just like you. She was vain just like you. Such a pain just like you. And everybody knows the truth. It's so interesting because someone can be vain as in like, oh, I need to be looked at in this specific way. Like it needs to be physically, aesthetically pleasing. But there's also a vanity of like perception. Like how people perceive the kind of person that you are and wanting to uphold a certain perception of yourself that's not really you. And I know there have been many times where I'm like, yo, like I need to uphold a certain image for my family, for my career, for like all Black kids that are just like out there trying to do their thing. I fuck up all the time. I don't really look at myself as being a role model because I make so many mistakes. There's a beautiful line that Erykah Badu said. She goes, I guess I was born to make mistakes, but I'm not afraid to pave the way. And that got me because I was like, yo, yeah, like we were all born to make mistakes, but like we are also role models for people who are inspired by us. It's clear to me now. You're scared of me, wow. It's clear to me now. Transparent soul. It's clear to me now. You're scared of me, wow. It's clear to me now. Transparent soul. If you ever came in contact with a transparent soul, it might be slightly scary. The truth is no walk in the park. I listened to a lot of Phoebe Dobson back in the day. I listened to a lot of Avril. I listened to a lot of My Chemical Romance. I was more exposed back in the day to honestly metal music. Like I was more exposed to that hardcore shit. When I like had my eyes opened to Avril Lavigne, Phoebe Dobson, My Chemical Romance, it was almost like, oh my goodness, because I had always wanted to sing rock music, but the rock music that I was exposed to was just so intense that I was like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I want to do this, like, with all of my heart. Like, I really do. But, like, this is just so intense. Like, I don't have the bandwidth for this. Then I got turned on to pop punk, and that was, like, blew my mind. Like, opened my mind.